right, this is actually a really funny story. I'm gonna tell y'all how I induced my labor with castor oil. I did get my doctor's permission, so I don't want to hear it. I asked him if I could start inducing my own labor. He told me yes. So I had heard about that you could use castor oil to induce your labor. I was 37 weeks, I think. 37 weeks and maybe 2 or 3 days. And my best friend, she was 36 weeks. We were pregnant a week apart. Our baby was supposed to be born a week apart, or two weeks apart. So she was probably like 35. I told her not to do it, but she did it anyway. So me and her went to the store. We went to the Rite Aid, and we got 2 bottles of castor oil about this big. Woo! When I tell y'all that stuff is so freaking nasty. And I'm going to tell y'all why I wouldn't recommend anyone else do this. Because, the after effect, well, it was terrible. So, I went, bought the castor oil. Me and her, we both went to our separate houses because we heard we was going to be using the bathroom a lot. And so, we bought a Coke. We drank the Coke and the castor oil at the same time. Like, we put Coke in our mouth and then put some castor oil and swap. Just thinking about it, how nasty it was, makes me want to throw up right now. Like, it was freaking disgusting. It was so disgusting. Some people are not even going to be able to hold the stuff down. But we kept doing this until I drank half the bottle. I drank half the bottle of castor oil. And I think it was like a 8-ounce bottle. So I probably drank 4 ounces of it. And then we heard that you're supposed to go walking. So we drank the rest of the Coke. We went walking. I went walking. Boom. Instantly started having the runs. Woo. I'm talking about, y'all, when I say I literally could not get off the toilet, I got off the toilet and 2 minutes later I was back on the toilet. It got to the fact that my booty hole was burning. Like, I would say I was boo-booing from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock that night. Straight boo-booing. I'm not making this up. I'm not over-exaggerating. None of that. Like, it was horrible. I was on the toilet. I was like, oh, God, please, my butt's burning. This is too much. Oh. It just, oh. And we was on the phone with each other. We was like, friend, I don't want to ever do this again. So, the minute that I could not boo-boo any freaking more, like, I couldn't boo-boo no more, was 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I had nothing else left in me to get out, like, literally. So, I guess that's when it induced the contractions. Because at 12 o'clock that same night, boom, I had my first contraction. I was like, ooh. Boom. They just kept on happening. Now, I know you was like, I don't know how far apart the contraction's supposed to be when you go to the hospital. But, I went to the hospital at like 1 in the morning. And they was like, oh, you only dilated 1 centimeter. Go back home, and when they're 5 minutes apart, you come back. Okay. 7 in the morning. It was about 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning, I'm going to say. Yeah, 6 in the morning. They started coming back to back. 5 minutes apart. I was counting. My mom drove me back to the hospital. They was like, you dilated 2.5 centimeters. We're not supposed to induce your labor until you dilated 4 centimeters. But we're going to let you stay and walk around the hospital. Walk around the hospital as much as you can until you get to 4 centimeters dilated. Okay, cool. I walked. I was holding on to the wall for dear life. Boom. I finally hit my 4 centimeters. I called my best friend. I told her I was in the hospital. She did not start her contractions. So, this fool went and drank the other half of the bottle. And then came in 2 hours after me, 2 centimeters. And they made her walk too. By this time, I was already in my room. It took me until I was 6 centimeters for them to get my epidural. Because we were signing paperwork. I was in there. They was talking to me. They was telling me the process, all of that. They was like, the anesthesia man will be in here when you're 6 centimeters for your epidural. Baby, those contractions are no joke. It's like a whole full body cramp hit you at one time, and your whole body cramp at one time is ah, and then stop, and then ah. I was screaming. They brought me my epidural. They gave me the shot in the back. After that, I was completely numb. Like, my whole body was numb. I couldn't feel my thighs. My thighs felt like they weighed 2,000 pounds. My body was like this. All of that. It was great. And so I was in labor from 7 o'clock that morning to 7:52. My baby did not come till 7:52 because you have to get to 10 centimeters. When you get 10 centimeters, that's when they start pulling the baby out and stuff. So I reached my 10 centimeters around, 7 o'clock. And so now it's the pushing process. And I guess I was like too tight because I was pushing and pushing and pushing. And they told me to push from my booty hole. By this time, this is the bad part. Because I was boo-booing so much, I had hemorrhoids all around my booty. Y'all, I can't make this up. So it hurt so bad to push. I couldn't push. She wasn't coming out. So the doctor had and she was turned the wrong way. So the doctor hurried up and he cut my vagina. He split it open, twisted the baby's head around, and took the clamps, pulled her out by the clamps. And my mom was freaking out because she never seen anything like this. She was like, oh my God, Jesus, 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 Jesus. She was freaking me out. So I'm like, pushing. And the baby finally came up. They just smacking the baby around, throwing the baby, folding the baby up. I felt like I didn't feel anything when pushing because I was so numb from the epidural. Baby, when that epidural wore off, I felt like I had got hit by a bus. I could hardly walk because my butt had so many hemorrhoids. I could hardly walk. This is why I would not recommend anybody else do that. I could not walk. Then they had the nerve to, after I pushed the baby out, and they come sit the baby on my chest. My chest felt like it was about to cave in already, and they come sit the baby on my chest for an hour talking about skin to skin time. I was like, Mama, can you please get the baby? I can't breathe. And so my mama finally got the baby. Everybody, that was in the room. It was me. This is my first baby, my boyfriend's mom, all that. So anyway, we was in there, and then boom, it was just too much. It was too much. So they got the baby, and I finally got some rest. When it was time to eat, I was so nauseous from the medicine. I was finna throw it up. I lost my appetite, and then you can't eat anything before you get there. So it had been like a whole 24 hours of me not eating anything. I was so hungry. I was irritated. My mom helped me with the baby the first night or two that I was in the hospital. The 2 nights I was in the hospital. Otherwise, I would have lost my mind. Lost my mind. But yeah, that's the story of how I induced my labor. Oh, and my best friend, she had a baby too. If I had my baby at 7:52, I believe she had her baby. Our babies are 9 hours apart, so she probably had him 2 o'clock the next day. So our babies are August 21st and then August 22nd, just like that. So yeah, I actually prayed to have my baby that day too. Like, it was crazy. And her birthday just passed, and she's 2. So yes, my baby lived. No, I didn't boo-boo on the baby or whatever they be saying. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody do that because that's the outcome. So tune in for more stories to come. Subscribe my channel, please.